Japan Air 3006 arrival turning base wind 090 at 17 runway 14 right, clear for takeoff.
Runway 14 right, cleared for takeoff, Japan Air 3006.
Japan Air 119 departure now, starting low, runway 14 right, clear turn, wind 090 at 12.
Japan Air 14 right, Japan Air 119.
Japan Air 2206, cross runway 14 left, and contact ground 177.
Appreciate close runway 14 left, and ground 117, Japan Air 2206.
Japan Air 3006, contact country touchdown.
Departure, Japan Air 3006. Japan Air 119, go around.
Japan Air 119, just fly heading 140, can maintain 2000 initially.
Heading 140, 2000 initially, Japan Air 119.
Japan Air 119 now, sound rating 100, maintain 2000.
Japan Air 119, turn left, turn right, 180, maintain 2000.
Fly heading 100, maintain 2000.
Heading 100, 2000, Japan Air 119.
Japan Air 119 after maintain 3000 and contact country departure.
Country 3000, so departure 1045.
Japan, please wait for the
Standby break, Japan Air 119, 119.5.
95, climb 3000, heading 100, Japan Air 119.
Japan Air 2355, hold short of runway 14 right to 1 arrival before you.
Roll shot runway 14 right, Japan Air 2355.
Japan Air 119, runway 14 right.
Japan Air 119 Oscar runway 14 right, wind 090 at 14, report left brake.
Report left brake, Japan Air 119. Japan Air 119, now left brake.
Japan Air 119 runway 1, report turning base runway 14 right.
Report turning base for runway 14 right, Japan Air 119.
Japan Air 3006 arrival turning base wind 090 at 17 runway 14 right, clear for takeoff.
Runway 14 right, cleared for takeoff, Japan Air 3006.
Japan Air 119 departure now, starting low, runway 14 right, clear turn, wind 090 at 12.
Veteran 14 right, Japan Air 119.
Japan Air 2206, cross runway 14 left, and contact ground 117.
Appreciate close runway 14 left, and ground 117, Japan Air 2206, thank you.
Japan Air 3006 counter cancel departure.
Departure Japan Air 3006. Japan Air 119 go around.
Japan Air 119 just fly heading 140, climb maintain 2000 initially.
Heading 140 2000 initially Japan Air 119.
さまざまな都市を空で結ゴミはお持ち帰りいただきますとともに、園内は全面禁煙でございますので、喫煙はなさいませんようお願い申し上げます。